Alright, people. Okay. Now we're going to see what happens here. See what doesn't happen. Maybe that's better away from it. Probably better over here. Yeah. This is a much better view, I think. So anyway, we'll see if anybody joins or what ends up happening. Who knows, man? This is always a weird deal. Now, wait a minute. What's that little cursor doing at the bottom? Ah! Googly Moogly. Let me go check my main computer. I don't know why that cursor's there. Hey! Good to hear you. I'll be right back. Googly Moogly. Okay. Alright, hey Daryl, Recon, how y'all doing? Anyway, I don't know why that cursor's at the bottom. I have to work on that some other time, I guess. But anyway, I'm waiting for some people to join. I'm gonna do a few things tonight, I think. Let me, just give me a second here and we'll see who all joins. But how's everybody doing? We, here in Louisville, man, the first snowfall, basically the whole winter, we got a ½ inch a day. Yoo-hoo! I mean, it was melted on the roads by the time it hit, but how's everybody else's winter going? You know? Probably cold. Hey, William, how you doing? But what I'm going to do here shortly, you see this Blocosmus on the bottom. These are the half-black reds I've got. What I'm going to do shortly, I'm going to feed them a little of the Repashy morning wood. And then, of course, come on, people. You know, Fancytailaquatics branded food. Now, this is not earthworm flakes per se. It's a mixture of foods. I just reuse containers a lot. But anyway, we're just going to feed these bad boys. And what you always got to do, people, look at that. Now see, always practice safe fish feeding. Put your rubber on. Oh boy, that was not, that was probably bad to say. Probably bad to say. But anyway, you'll see how these boys love it. I'm going to put in some fish food up here to keep the, try to keep the guppies at bay, if you will. Kind of my ritual. That's enough for now, I think. But, yeah, with any luck, the little catfish should start going down there towards the Repashy. I don't know. We'll wait and see. Googly Moogly. I'm going to add some in the bottom tank. I'm not going to focus on this tank entirely. Just kind of going through, just feed them a little bit. Yeah, I know it's late to feed them, but you got to keep them happy. Got to keep them happy, man. So how's everybody else doing on a Friday night? But wait and see. Not a whole lot of people joining, but that's all right. 70 degrees and a rainy Googly Moogly. Where are you at? Florida? Arizona? Guatemala? The islands? Googly Moogly. Huh. Yeah, get the rubber off. Alright. The other fish tanks will get fed here shortly. Now you can see, hey, Scott's Aquatics. Well, I'm Scott as well. But now you can see they are tearing up. My goodness, how many plecos do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 in there. But now they're tearing it up, people. I'm running out of Repashy. I do sell it on eBay. I don't know if Susan from Susan's Aquatics will be on tonight. I will have a very basic stripped down website coming out here next week. And basically it's going to say, send me an email, blah, 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 and I'll send you a price list of current stuff I've got. I'm definitely running out of the repashy type stuff, and there's a lot of branded foods and other things up there. So I'm definitely running out. I'm going to have to place an order. But, yeah, look at that. Man, who doesn't like morning wood? Now, come on. Freaking Placos love it. They also love... hang on. Here it is. Again, I'm not trying to plug myself, but they love the spirulina pellets as well. I got a bunch of that in stock. But I got to place an order here real soon. Anyway, let's quit talking about that. But I just want to do a fish feeding just to kind of show you how much they love the stuff. North Carolina, where are you at on the coast? My brother's at Elizabeth City. And I've visited there many, many times. It's about 30 miles, west of Corolla, Duck, Nag's Head. And I love when I go to visit him, because we always go to the beach down there and fish and swim and do all that good stuff. He lives right on the bay of the Albemarle Sound. Matter of fact, his house backs up to the bay. He's got a fish boat or a dock and everything else. I don't like getting in that water. It looks like bull shark water to me. But we go out there clamming, and we catch crabs off his dock and everything else. So he kind of stays pretty warm, if you will. I think they average maybe an inch of snow every year or two. But you're at 70 now. Depends on where you're at in North Carolina. I believe might be a cold front behind it, but again, he rarely sees snow. We talk, we talk every other week or two. Usually more smack during football season for fantasy football. But look at them guys tearing it up. So again, if you guys don't have repashy, especially like morning wood and maybe Community Plus, but that's not really a good bottom feeder. But I certainly would never, feed fish exclusively repashy. Guppies absolutely will eat it. And those are my half-black blues down there. I put food in there too. There's not as many Placos. Hey, thanks, Mr. B, man. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Pardon your language. No, I don't know if I saw anything in there. Or other than Hey Scott's, there's two of us in here. But anyway, I'm just showing y'all the repayment. I'm debating on ordering more, because they have a $250 minimum charge that I have to order. And the problem is with me, a lot of market out there that competes with the repashy. But, we'll go from there. I've got a lot more wood, people. I'm going to have to start listing, cholla wood and all that good stuff. But, anywho, like I say, I do have a bare minimal website coming out next week. It's going to be Fancytailaquatics.com. I've had the domain name for, googly moogly, 3 or 4 years now. Never did anything with it. But it's not going to be fancy. It's not going to be e-commerce. It's not going to be any of that cool stuff. It's just basically going to have some pictures of fish, pictures of fish food, and blah, blah, blah. And it'll basically have some links to maybe eBay, and then it'll have another link like to send me a personal mail. We're finalizing, the website, as we go. Blah, blah, blah. 20 minutes away. Yeah, my brother works at the what is that? The Coast Guard there, or well, he's what am I, 50? He's 48. He's an independent contractor. He works at the Coast Guard. And here's some cool information for all y'all that don't know. Um, what was that movie with Kevin somebody and the guy that was on Two and a Half Men in the '70s show? What were their names? Anyway, they did a movie. What was it called? Guardians or Coast? I don't know what it was, but anyway, those guys were in town to film, and my brother got invited to go to a cookout, and he turned it down because he's like me. He's a freaking what do you call us? We're introverts, if you will, but they weren't allowed to say anything. But little did he know that Kevin, what's his face, and Ashton Crutcher, whatever his name is. Anyway, they were at the freaking barbecue. He could have met these people. But yeah, they filmed everything right there in Elizabeth City at the Coast Guard base, if you will, which I thought was pretty freaking interesting. But my brother actually works there now because he had served time in the Navy, years and years ago, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't, serve anymore, but he had been on a list forever and somehow got on as an independent contractor. So, hang on a second, I'm going to get something to drink. Kevin Costner and Ashton Kutcher. I can't remember what the name of that was. But anyway, that's enough of that little silly tank looking. Just move this in here, not to bore y'all to death. This is a tank. I've seen this before, absolutely. I've been working on it for Nola Jane. And man, the Java Moss, that's a month in the making, people. Originally, it was basically a golf ball size. And now it's freaking huge. How do you do that, Scott? How do you do that? Well, lots of water flow. Honestly, water changes. I do not usually use this stuff very often at all. But that is my only, source of fertilizer. I guess water changes. I have hard water. It comes out of the tap like 8.0. It kind of does whatever it freaking does. And I believe it's the bulbs. Let me find out. 1 second. Okay. These are the bulbs I use. They're Philips, and I'm out. 100 watt replacement daylight deluxe bulbs. And does it have the information here? Yeah, 60 right there. 6,500K. That's been probably the main reason I can grow plants really good. Yearly cost only $2.77. Well, based on 3 hours a day. But I've got to get some more. I get these from Home Depot. And like I say, it uses 23 watts. These light containers, they're only, I don't know, suggested for, I get them at Walmart and like what, $7.99 each, or maybe they're $12.99. I don't know. They're only rated for like 25 or 40 watts, but I've never had one burn up. So, but anyway, that's kind of how I don't know, get plants to grow, people. Yeah, mine's basically empty. But yeah, Easy Green. I have done tests on it. Hang on, let me put this box away. I need to lose things. I've done tests on it, and I need to do more, like tank per tank. I think my problem with doing a lot of testing is, Oh boy, look at all them Malaysian trumpet snails, boy. Woo, hardly any fish in there. But man, we have Malaysian trumpet snails. But anyway, it's hard for me to A B things because first of all my tanks have plants in them. So I would literally have to, if I was gonna again plug aquarium co-op's Easy Green, um, I would have to do an A B comparison, same water, same time, in a tank with the same light, same temperature, and put in the exact same amount of plants, dose one, not dose the other, change them both at the same time. Um, I'm not saying it's bad stuff. I'm not saying it's great stuff. Um, I believe I've noticed an improvement, on growth rates. But again, how can I prove that? When most people have a hard time getting Java moss from golf ball size to that in a month, um, it has to do something with my water, with my freaking, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing, you know? I mean, things like that. That tank's been up for a little while, but man, just plant growth takes over. I believe it has more to do with the bulbs than anything else, honestly. It really does, in my opinion. But then again, some of you guys may have $400-$500 freaking whatever light systems you use. Some of y'all may have the ones that, when you first get your fish aquarium, the little I don't know, that comes in a kit. That little thingy that hangs over the back. Um, let's see. Yeah, whatever would sit on the back of that. I forget it what you even call them. When I got the 10 gallons over there, they came with these lids. Obviously, I don't use them. I use the glass lids in my own stuff. So again, I have no idea, people. Y'all got to tell me what you use, what works, what doesn't. Some of y'all may have the $400, I don't know, halides or whatever you call it. Googly muggly. So, I don't know. I'm not going to be on here too long, peeps. It's Friday night, and I've done a lot of research. And here's the stupid fact is, the average fish keeper, the average age of a fish keeper that keeps more than one tank or interested in multiple tanks or what have you, the median age is like 26 to 28. The reason I go live Friday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Time is simple. I catch all the East Coast people. I catch the Central. I catch the Mountain because it's only, what? Am I losing time? Hold on. Central, Mountain. Yeah. So I'm catching everybody from, come on, Scott. Think, buddy. From 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock. Which means I'm catching most of the U.S. that's home from work on a Friday. In the median age, if you're at 26 to 28, and again, we're all different, man. We're all different, okay? Usually at that age, you're kind of done partying and going out as much, especially if you're keeping fish tanks and being responsible. Being semi-responsible. I still had fun in my 30s. Googly moogly, come on. Once I hit 40s, I was done with all that, man. But that's kind of why I choose these nights. Is it the best night to go live? I have no freaking idea. It seems to work for me. And plus, be honest with y'all, and Mr. B can testify, there's a whole list of people Monday through Sunday that have time slots saved up. And you don't really want to compete with anybody else. I mean, I would never want to run against a Corey Co-op Live video. I would lose every time. So I chose a time. I used to try for different days. This one seems to work for me, so no one else is competing with me yet, so I kind of like it. I didn't call B old. No, ma'am. Hey, Candy, how you doing? No, I have no idea what his age is. I was simply talking about the median age of fish keepers that keep multiple tanks, okay? is between 26 and 28, and really it's larger than that. I mean, I believe the age is probably 40 plus that really keep multiple tanks. I just, again, I found this information online. And, as we get older, we're not going out and partying on Friday nights anyway. I mean, a lot of people about 28 years old are married. A lot of people have responsibilities, kids, and, husbands, wives, girlfriends, whatever. So that's all I'm saying, man. No. I wish I was a lot younger. Boy, if I could turn back the clock about 30 years, y'all wouldn't see me on here. That's all I can tell you. I'd be out doing my thing. I wouldn't be keeping fish. But, I don't know, as I become more and more older and more introverted and loved, animals more and more, and kind of got into this hobby in 2011, I believe, is when I got into it. And my very first fish I ever had, people, 2011. Now I had fish from the local pet store. I went out and bought a 29-gallon aquarium, the whole 9 yards. I didn't know about cycling. I didn't know anything. I bought substrate and I bought everything. A stand. I probably spent $400, believe it or not, on a 29-gallon aquarium. I pimped it out, man. The lights and everything. And everything was cool for a month or two until things died off. But what happened somewhere about 6 months along the way, I lost half the fish along the way. I learned how to do water changes, pouring into my sink, which was next to it, and blah, blah, blah. But what set me on the guppy path, if you will, oh yeah, breeding the world's best guppies. I don't know if I'm always doing that. I'm trying. But what set me on that guppy path was simple. Luke Roebuck. Do any of y'all, does that name ring a bell to you? If you've been around any length of time at all. If it doesn't, he was in California. And there are some breeders in this hobby that once you get into it and learn their names, they are their names. We've lost a couple other good breeders very recently. But Luke Roebuck, I went on a website, and back then the websites were like Angel Fire, you know what I'm saying? These off-brand websites, basically still pictures and prices. That was about the extent of it. And my webpage is coming this week. But anyway, Luke Roebuck had these purple Moscow guppies. And what I did, I looked at him. I thought, my God, these are gorgeous. I mean, they are absolutely gorgeous. I think at the time they were $50 a pair. I'm sorry, a trio maybe, and maybe $12.50 shipping. Don't quote me on any of that. I believe his website is still up, Luke Roebuck. But I bought them things, and man, did they take over the tank. I started losing neon tetras that I had in there, zebra danios, and the community tank, and the cories. I started losing everything. But my goodness, them guppies lived, people. They lived and lived and lived. And fast forward to maybe 2012, 2013, other than a couple odd small catfish in there, they were still alive. And again, I was an idiot. I didn't really have test kits per se. I probably wasn't on the best water. I was using, at the time, TetraSafe, which doesn't really protect against chloramines, if you will. Or what is it? Chloramine and chloramine? Or chlorine and chloramine, I'm sorry. And I believe that was killing off some of the other critters. Then, as the web developed, I really started studying a whole lot more into it. Now here's a little Placo, a little bristlenose. And as I started studying more into it, hey, no problem, Scott, man. You take care, brother. Glad you stopped in. The more I studied into it and learned how to take care of them, I kept them guys breeding as a continuous colony without losing color, because I bought another aquarium, and I started to learn how to cull and separate, which I'm still not the best daddy in the world. Okay? Like these guys, I've been trying forever to get these little albino pastel, whatever they are. I lost all their parents. I've been trying to keep them going. Brine shrimp, the whole 9 yards. But I've been trying to learn, over time, how to do all this. Am I great? No, not even close. I'm nowhere on the scale of like an Adrian Hernandez, the godfather of endlers, if you will. I'm nowhere on the scale of Steven Ketzler. He's got multiple tanks dedicated to one species. I don't. I mean, almost all my tanks are either mutts or, like this one, dedicated to one species. Do I do enough culling? No. I need to work on that again. So that's some goals this year, with some of these tanks. A lot of these down here, I forget what's in there. I've been trying to breed them back forever, but some of these tanks are mixed in, like those are supposed to be blue deltas, I believe, and I'm starting to get them back, but it's been a 2-year project. You can kind of see a hint of blue maybe down there. Then other tanks are straight up mutt tanks like that one. And it's got purples and albinos and half black, this and that and blah, blah, blah. So, I don't really want to take up a lot of y'all's time on a Friday night. I've been blessed that Mr. B bothered to come in here, and Candy and HC Aqua. I mean, some of you guys are real superheroes out there, man. And especially Candy. She has been, every channel's always said this, and I know she can't sponsor me a bottle of this stuff. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But I think you work for him. But she'll have to answer that. Maybe she's away. I don't know. But, like I say, I don't have to. Yeah, Cody, I have no idea. See me, I'm always trying to get something for free. Goodness knows I've ordered a lot of stuff from Corey over the years. Yeah, where was I going with it? Oh, master test kits. See, we've learned along the way. Now, I gotta clean them test tubes out from the last testing. Yeah, I thought you did. Alright, you get any hookups, you let me know. I can always use something. Oh, googly moogly. But I'm not gonna tie y'all up too much more. I've just been so freaking blessed, man. All the Christmas cards I got, and look at all them thank you notes I've gotten, from people, over time. And look what MTA did for me. Chris. I've just been freaking blessed for, I'm not a big channel at all. I'm not even close to being a big channel. I'm not trying to be a big channel. I'm simply trying to be me. But I've just absolutely been blessed and, having a great time along this ride. I never thought that would happen. Why do I have a banner? Googly moogly. I have no idea. And why do I have hats? Hey, D, how you doing? Well, another big time player, D. You can't, well, what can you do? Online customer service rep. You know what, Candy? I worked for Lexmark for 12 or 13 years. I ended up in customer support, when I started out. And I ended up, at the end, a level 3 support. In other words, the only people above me was my boss, who didn't really take phone calls, and the CEO. And there were 2 of us. And what they figured out was what they paid me per year, they could pay 10 other people per year. And then they phased my job out to the Philippines. Believe it or not. And then I got a nice severance package and the whole freaking 9 yards. I do know how to talk to people, and settle issues and blah, blah, blah. Let me know if y'all need more customer support. I'd be happy to help out. But like I say, I've just been blessed, man. You know, period. With everything and fish tanks. I'm gonna be adding soon. I don't know if I'm gonna add there or tear out more room over there underneath the shelves. I'm just working on getting more, more and more fish in. I had a local guy come by and at least pick up like this beautiful mud guppies. Now tell me some of those fish y'all wouldn't like to have. Now come on, man. There's some purples and oh, he's even got red dots on his tail. That one does. Um, Black hybrid or half black hybrids and whatever. And what I do is I typically take the mud guppies. Oh, you see a little purple with the little blue dots on his tail? You never see nothing like that. I had some other cooler fish in there, but I believe somebody took them. They're kind of greens and blah blah blah. Here's a leftover albino red. I'm having a hard time getting a lot of these guppies back. Like my breeder, who I originally got these half black pastels from, unfortunately he went through a hurricane, lost electric, and I lost pretty much all of them. You ever seen that? That's a half black pastel, but with a red tail. Apparently he's mated with one of these. I have no idea, man. No idea what's going on. But I've got too many calls. But anyway, I had a local guy come in. I'm gonna put a picture of it up soon. He put in. He had a 75-gallon aquarium with mostly only bristlenose in there. I think there might have been some normal cories in there. I'm not sure. But I told him, man. He asked me if I had a bunch of coals. I said, well, my coals are not like anything you're going to find at a pet store. They're good coals. They're just ones that, weren't as colorful as they should be, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, he came and took a bunch of them. So help me semi-free the tanks up, if you will. But there's a couple more tanks on the bottom that are like those two are kind of coals. And then what I'm planning on doing is obviously converting them all more into one tank. Be easier this spring when I get the outdoor 90-gallon pool pond, if you will, back up. So anyway, I really don't want to hold everybody up. It's been about 30 minutes, and y'all been more than wonderful for even bothering to watch. Does anybody have any questions or anything? So I'm going to probably cut this short. I'm really running out of things to talk to, and y'all are probably getting bored of looking at the same aquariums over and over. I know I would be, maybe. So let me know if you got any questions or anything else, because, again, I don't want to hold y'all up. Do. Okay, probably not. But alright, well, I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. I really appreciate everybody. Y'all been amazing. And again, I'm glad everybody came in here to bother watching me yet again. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up because I don't want to get to the point of where I'm doing this every Friday but become boring after, 30 minutes. So I think 30 minutes with me, without seeing my face and doing all that fancy, smancy background, green screens and all that stuff, that's probably enough for me. So, I wish each and every one of y'all a happy, happy weekend. I hope you don't have any snow or any more bad weather that's moved through the U.S. Y'all have a blessed freaking weekend. I just want to say I thank each and every one of you. God bless you all for even bothering to show up. It means the world to me. I don't care if it's one person watching. It means the world to me. So, I want to thank every one of y'all. Y'all have a great weekend, and I screw this up every time. I'm going to try to cut it off. Thanks again, Candy, and HC, and Recon, and Mr. B, and Scott, whoever's in here. Cody, and blah, blah, blah. So let me figure out, how do I shut this off? Oh, I do this every freaking time. Oh, here we go, I think. All right, thanks a lot, people. Laters.